As you know, we're a NASDAQ-listed ophthalmology company looking at innovative ways of addressing unmet needs in the ocular space. Our lead asset is squalamine lactate ophthalmic solution, which is a topical, multi-target angiogenesis inhibitor being evaluated in combination with Lucentis for the treatment of exudative AMD based on strong phase 2 clinical data. There are additional retinal indications for squalamine beyond wet AMD, and as a company, we are fully funded through the data readout expected at the very early part of 2018. What are the unmet needs in AMD? I think we all know that in spite of the success of anti-VEGF treatment, we still have far to go to get patients back to normal vision. So one unmet need is improving the visual gains possible with anti-VEGF monotherapy. And secondly, importantly, is maintaining these vision benefits for the lifetime of the patients. Currently, in clinical practice, we use anti-VEGF drugs which are injected into the vitreous in a bolus manner and act in the extracellular space, binding their target molecule. Squalamine is different. It acts intracellularly, where it binds calmodulin and silences a number of angiogenic targets, including VEGF, PDGF, and basic FGF. Recognizing the complex nature of exudative AMD, we conducted an exploratory phase 2 trial looking at treatment-naive patients with wet AMD, but enrolling the full range of the disease. That is, all lesion types, all lesion sizes, and a wide range of visual acuity. Patients in our phase 2 trial were enrolled and received squalamine drops or placebo drops twice a day, every day for 9 months, and then received a baseline injection of Lucentis and PRN Lucentis on a monthly basis based on anatomic criteria. These are the pre-specified analyses that we had from our phase 2 trial. In this diverse overall population, we saw a 2.5-letter gain in the combination therapy arm versus monotherapy for all patients enrolled. For that group of patients with classic-containing lesions, which represented about half of our patients, we saw a 6-letter gain in visual function with combination treatment at month 9 and a 55% increase in the proportion of patients gaining 3 or more lines in visual function at month 9. That was robust and exciting, and we could have stopped there, but that's not good drug development. We all know that wet AMD is a complex disease with a complicated and unclear vascular biology. We also recognize that if you focus only on classic-containing lesions, you have ignored nearly half of the exudative AMD population. With that in mind, we conducted a thorough multivariate analysis of our phase 2 data and discovered that, in fact, it is the size of the occult CNV at baseline, irrespective of the presence or absence of a classic CNV component, that determines the effectiveness of combination treatment with squalamine lactate ophthalmic solution. Furthermore, we determined that when the occult size was less than 10 square millimeters, there were consistent positive visual acuity gains achieved with combination treatment. Importantly, occult less than 10 square millimeters represents about 75 to 80% of the wet AMD population seen in clinical practice. How did that group do in our phase 2 data? When we looked at the phase 2 data, 75% of our patients had occult less than 10 square millimeters, and we see that at month 9 there was a 5.3-letter gain in visual acuity with a p-value of 0.033 in these 94 patients. Further, we saw that there was a 54% increase in the visual acuity benefit of 3 or more line gains in vision compared to Lucentis monotherapy. And very importantly, what we saw was that our final mean acuity at month 9 was nearly 72 letters with combination treatment, indicating that squalamine used in combination with anti-VEGF treatment could improve the functional status of many patients with exudative disease. With all of this in mind, we are conducting our ongoing clinical trial, the MAKO study, which is based upon this information we gained from our phase 2 trial. This is enrolling a population with occult less than 10 square millimeters. There are more than 200 patients enrolled in the clinical trial with a primary visual acuity outcome at month 9 as our primary endpoint. We are on target to have top-line data by the very early part of 2018 on this trial. At Ohr, we believe squalamine is well positioned to succeed in this clinical development program, in part based upon the uniqueness of the molecule, which has an intracellular site of action, targets multiple growth factors at once, is topically applied, and perhaps most importantly and differently than our current therapies, its topical daily administration means that we are providing sustained suppressive therapy in a chronic manner for a chronic disease. Furthermore, by moving into our next clinical trial with the information we gain from our phase 2, that is a target population with the optimal effect of combination treatment, and the confirmation that our control group in our phase 2 behaved exactly as you would expect for Lucentis monotherapy, further increases the chance of success of the ongoing clinical study. Squalamine lactate ophthalmic solution has the potential to be a convenient and cost-effective therapy in a number of retinal diseases. In wet AMD, to improve the visual function achieved with anti-VEGF therapy alone and maintain these benefits over the lifetime of the patient. In addition, it is easily combined with any of the current anti-VEGF therapies and some of the newer anti-VEGF drugs that may have a longer duration of action. In addition, because of its topical application, retinal specialists are easily able to incorporate it into their clinical practice, whether they're using mandated therapy or PRN or a treat and extend approach. Furthermore, squalamine has application in a variety of retinal diseases, including diabetic retinopathy, retinal vascular occlusive disease, and my particular highest interest is as a potent multi-target inhibitor of angiogenesis and topically applied, it has the potential to be used as a risk-reducing agent, that is, reducing the conversion from dry to wet and therefore providing patients with AMD the best possibility of maintaining optimal visual function. To bring it back to where I started, we are a NASDAQ-listed company with innovative approaches to treating ocular disease. Our lead asset will read out in the early part of 2018. We are in active business development discussions, and we are fully funded through data readout. Thank you very much.